Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that, after the end of a long-term relationship, they wanted to use their newfound time and energy to establish new routines, new rituals, new healthy habits and patterns. And that's really what this session is all about. They were giving their relationship around about 15 to 20 hours a week on average of their time. And they really wanted to kind of put that time to use for something that could help them to be healthier, prioritize self-love, self-care, and some of those things that would give them long-term benefits, but also to help them establish boundaries that could enable them to be discerning about any future relationship, that they wouldn't feel this kind of expectation or obligation to be with someone just because someone else showed interest in them. So it was really designed to lay the foundation for the future life they wanted for themselves. And a lot of it is based around healthy self-care and personal boundaries to prioritize themselves. And that tends to be the case in a lot of cases where a lot of the time people don't know who they are as an individual. If they've been in a relationship for so long, they build an identity about being one part of a couple. And when that changes, it can feel disorientating, but it can also be a wonderful opportunity to redefine yourself as part of whatever now is and whatever you want now in the future to be. So there is an element of future pacing, there is an element of direct suggestions, but fundamentally it's about using certain metaphors and ways of thinking to have a perspective based on what now means, what the near future means, and what they want for themselves in the longer term future. Hopefully you find this interesting, and the best way to experience and get the most from this is to find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, feel a wonderful sense of release. Feel that you're releasing tension, particularly around your eyelids, your forehead, around your jaw. And as you breathe out, elongate the outward breath, enabling you to breathe out for deeper and longer, so that the very next breath in is even deeper than the breath before. And the deeper you breathe, the more tension feels like it's melting away, enabling you to feel a grounded sense of relaxation. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice your body relaxing. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a ridge or a mountain in nature. Imagine you're wearing whatever clothing is suitable to hike up towards a precipice. Breathe in and breathe out, and just feel a sensation of moving towards that mountain, that precipice, climbing higher and higher. And as you walk, notice the freshness of the air, breathing in deep and exhaling any remaining tension. Feeling your body soften and your mind open. And feel like you've walked towards that mountain. And imagine yourself at the base of it. A beautiful, peaceful mountain. Perhaps under blue skies, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, surrounded by crisp, fresh air, and maybe there's a scent carried in that breeze, maybe pine, maybe the leaves or flowers nearby. Look down at your feet and maybe you see hiking boots or footwear suitable for walking and climbing. And you feel strong, ready. And notice there is a path before you leading up the mountain. And with each step, feel a growing sense of calm and strength, inner strength, as you move forward, deeper into this journey. As you walk, maybe you notice the way the earth feels beneath your feet. Steady, solid. Each step up the mountain path feels intentional, deliberate, and yet effortless, guided by a peaceful rhythm. And that rhythm guides you, perhaps mirroring your breathing. You're breathing easily and deeply, feeling energized, knowing you're moving closer to something profound and uplifting. I want you to imagine, while you're on this journey, there are things that you're holding on to, maybe a heavy rucksack, maybe accessories. And I want you to get a sense that not everything on this journey is needed. So as you walk up, feel that you're giving yourself permission to leave behind any weights or baggage of the past. In particular, emotional baggage. Feel that you can just put it down and let it go. And notice when you do so, you feel lighter and you can climb higher until you reach a point where you're only carrying what's necessary, what's useful, and what supports you now, at this point in your life. As you carry on, feel that the time behind you represents perhaps recent weeks, that you've evolved and changed and let go of so much until you reach the top of the mountain. The view is breathtaking, the horizon stretching endlessly in every direction, and you feel a gentle breeze that lifts your spirit, clearing away any lingering thoughts or doubts. Right here, you're free, completely open to possibility. And then imagine drifting down to the top of the mountain is a brightly coloured hot air balloon with a large wicker basket there at the bottom. It's vibrant, peaceful, and this is designed to carry you even higher. So imagine climbing into that wicker basket, solid and stable and safe, and then feel it lift gently, smoothly, until you're soaring above the mountain, above any trees, with an entirely new perspective. And maybe the mountain represents something in your life, and a forest and a lake something else. It all represents something, and yet from here, you can see the full picture of your life, with all the time, energy, and space that's now truly yours. A complex maze or a labyrinth is almost impossible to escape when you're in it, and it becomes obvious how to escape looking at the same maze from above. So now imagine looking at your life from an entirely different perspective. You haven't lost something. You've become liberated. You have more choices, options about how to live life on your terms. And as you float in the calmness of this sky, floating above nature, I want you to focus on the time that was once allocated to someone else. Maybe it was time spent together, time communicating. Think of all of that time and guess how much it would be on an average week. Time in their company, time thinking about them, interacting with them, or even waiting for them. And maybe it's 15 or 20 hours, maybe less, maybe more. And I want you to think about how that time, energy, and emotions that were once given freely to another person is now yours. Yours to do with as you wish. So feel that time, that energy, all of those emotional capacity flowing back to you, filling you up, enriching every part of your being. And maybe in the past it felt that time, energy, and motions that you were giving didn't always lead to you receiving an equal level of time, energy, and emotion in return. That you were pouring water into a canyon, never for it to be filled. But now you have all of that capacity back. It is yours now to spend, yours to enjoy, to dedicate to your own growth and happiness. Picture the time, the energy, and the emotions as open spaces in your life, a gift, an opportunity to create something powerful, something beautiful. As you breathe in air from the hot air balloon, imagine in the same way that the hot air balloon has the heat, imagine breathing in a color that represents self-love and positivity. Imagine breathing in that color and feel that you are being inflated with that positivity and optimism. And I wonder if you could imagine a very near future, the next few days and weeks, that you could imagine yourself establishing routines that nourish you, routines that celebrate your health, your vitality, routines that enable you to connect to yourself and others. Maybe you could see yourself moving, exercising, feeling strong, alive, and deeply connected to nature. As you take time outdoors, maybe seeing sunsets and sunrises, grounding yourself, recharging, finding peace in the world around you and also the world within. Maybe you can imagine that future version of you creating moments of self-care, enjoying massages, treating yourself to vacations just for you. See yourself with habits and rituals that reflect just how much you respect and cherish yourself. Imagine the things that lift you up. Time to rest, to explore, to learn, to play. That every act of self-care becomes a building block of future rituals. Rituals that build your inner strength and resilience, filling you with confidence and a feeling of complete self-acceptance and contentment. And now from this elevated view, see that future version of you, not in days or weeks in the future, but maybe months or years. See a radiant, grounded version of you that exudes confidence. See yourself moving through life with a strong sense of self-acceptance, that you are comfortable being alone, in your own company, or in social settings. You see a version of you that feels good, at peace with who you are, knowing that you are whole, capable, and worthy. And maybe you can imagine yourself in a social situation being approached by someone, but see that version of you looking comfortable. See that version of you allowing yourself to simply enjoy the moment without any pressure or expectations. A version of you that's free to connect, free to be you, knowing that this interest from others is something that you can receive easily, freely, with absolutely no obligations. And as you see this future self, notice how natural it feels, how fulfilling it seems to be to live in that way, nurturing yourself and creating positive, life-enhancing rituals. Imagine that from now into your future, you are building a life that feels full, a life that feels good, a life where you are continuously growing, supported by your own sense of identity, self-acceptance, and self-love. And if you could imagine that future version of you, that version of you likes yourself, respects yourself, a sense of being in control and embracing that vulnerable part. Let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then allow that hot air balloon to start gradually floating down. Imagine you're floating down back to the top of the mountain, but something feels like it's changed. You have a new sense of what the future will be like, that how you can build the future you desire. So imagine leaving the basket back onto the mountain, but as you make your way down the mountain, see those old things that you've left behind, realizing that you didn't need to hold on to them, that letting them go was exactly what was needed to lift yourself up. So carry on down the mountain, back to the foot of the mountain, smelling that pine in the air, feeling a sense of peace and connection, and see a sun starting to set, representing the end of the old version of you, and perhaps the beginning of a new version. And as you walk away from the mountain, feel yourself floating back to the here and now, taking any insights, any thoughts and ideas with you, and leaving all the baggage there on the mountain. So breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect fully into the here and now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling peace, acceptance, and a tingle of excitement about what the future has in store for you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.